towns in rural areas. So we have $2.5 billion that's going to come through this discretionary grant program versus the formula funds for NEVI. So cities, towns, MPOs can apply, and they can apply in partnership with the private sector or with NGOs or both in a consortium. And there's 1.25 billion for community and 1.25 billion for a corridor, and those will be coming out soon. But we want to make sure that not only are we addressing climate change, but we're also increasing EV charging access in underserved and overburdened communities. So the community grant program will strategically deploy publicly accessible EV charging infrastructure. It can also be hydrogen, propane. The corridor charging grant program will do this also, but along designated alternative fuel corridors. And the rules around these discretionary grants will be coming out soon. A reminder that both NEVI and the CFI program have an 80-20 cost share requirement. And leveraging federal funding, states and their partners can consider siting charging infrastructure in locations that might otherwise have not made sense financially for the private sector to do alone, right? Maybe it wouldn't pencil out, at least initially. So this program wants to ensure that whether you're in a rural, suburban, or urban community, that you have access to the right type of charging. And that doesn't mean that it's all going to be level 3 charging. Our forecasts show a considerable amount of charging will be at multi-unit developments with level 2, on street and cities with level 2, so, or even lower powered level 3 charging. But on those, corridors, the highway corridors, and we're thinking about sort of highway versus off highway, you definitely need the high speed charging. A note about the private sector: we recognize that the private sector is going to build and operate most, if not all, of these networks, of the network. And there are many business opportunities, from building US-made chargers to the subcomponents, the raw materials, but also like the provision, construction, operation, and maintenance of the stations on an ongoing basis. I was recently out in LA, and we met, myself and both deputy secretaries, with young entrepreneurs that are starting companies like Charger Help, like Spark Charge, and others. And they're focused on interoperability, payment systems, telecom. There's all these different aspects, as well as, I said, the operations and maintenance. There's mobile charging. So these companies springing up, or established companies, will be integral to ensuring that the infrastructure really meets the customer's needs. And we want to create a frictionless, easy to use experience, whether you are low income and unbanked,